My name is Brennan Sullivan. Username is Patty. I'm a sophomore, and I go to University of Akron.
And so, first off, how does it feel to qualify for the RLCS Regional event?
It's pretty great to have qualified for the regional. I honestly never thought it would happen. This is definitely
Yeah.
a surprise to me.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was going to be my second question. So you joined Akron around the summer of 2022, and so going into your first season of CRL, did you ever expect that you and your teammates would one day qualify for an RLCS regional?
I never expected it to make it this far at all. I honestly thought that I would always not do as well as the other colleges, especially because my major is way more demanding school-wise, and so I expect to just get lost in work, and then even though I'm on like 30 hours past due, we still somehow qualified. I guess we just got blessed by seeding or peaked out of our minds.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit more about that balance between, competing, practicing, and of course doing your schoolwork as well?
It's actually not that difficult, in my opinion, to find a good balance, because as long as you prioritize schoolwork and Rocket League, like competing, it's pretty simple. So like for me, I wake up around between 6 to 8 a.m. depending on the day, go work out, and then I go to classes, do homework right after, then I eat, and then it's practice time basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And can you talk a little bit more about the reaction? So we saw the reaction clip that you posted of y'all qualifying. Can you talk a little bit more about how you were feeling in that moment, how your teammates were feeling, anything like that?
So I showed some of my friends that actually said that I didn't even look happy at all when we qualified, because I was more relieved than anything, because we got reverse swept by M80 in uppers, and then we almost got reverse swept by, I forget their team name, I think it was Schmo, but they almost beat us, and so it was game 5 OT, almost traumatizing to get double reverse swept on qual match, but so I was just so relieved, so happy. My throat hurt so much from yelling, but it was great.
Definitely. And can you talk a little bit more about the matches that you had over the few days before qualifying? I know you took down Team Twitter, of course. You took down. You were taken down by M80. I believe you took down Clarity.
Yep.
You can correct me if I'm wrong there. And then Team Schmo, the ones that you beat going into actually qualifying for the qualifying match. So can you talk a little bit more about some of those matches?
Well, so though there's one significant one that I'd say you missed, is that when we beat Snowmen.
Oh, yes, missed
that gave us the really good seed going into day 3. It was kind of weird, or it was novel for us, because we were able to have the mindset, oh well, we're not supposed to beat this team, so let's just do our best, and then we beat them, and so then that just kind of carried throughout the whole time, and that's how we almost beat M80. We're like, oh yeah, I mean, like it's their game to lose basically, so just do our best and hope everything goes well for us.
Would you say that's the mentality that you're going to keep up over the next few stages?
110%. There is absolutely no reason for me to be in top 16 right now, so.
But you are. Akron has a very storied past, especially in CRL. At one point, some would say that it was a CRL dynasty, the first CRL dynasty.
Yeah,
so can you talk a little bit about how qualifying for this RLCS regional event as the first collegiate team to do it, how does that continue the legacy of Akron?
That's kind of a tough one. I mean, so like qualifying, it helps the legacy so much, especially because our program, it was super helpful. They're obviously super supportive. Our coach, if you want to call him, he was so excited. He couldn't believe it when we qualified. He was more just like, yeah, you guys do RLCS for get the $100 for top 128 and just have fun with it. It's nice to be able to continue the dynasty-esque kind of appearance, because with how difficult CRL is becoming, I didn't think, I mean, I know we're not going to dominate like they used to. So to have some substantial win it's very nice.
Did you feel some pressure when you came into Akron, knowing about this legacy, and then of course, having that torch passed on by Buzz? I know you played with Buzz in fall 2022, but how did that kind of feel? Like, did you feel a little bit nervous about that?
I didn't feel nervous at all, actually. I was really excited to be able to play in CRL. I knew most of the people who were already in it, and so I was like, oh yeah, I'm just competing with my friends, more or less.
Yeah, absolutely. And so next up for the team is the Swiss stage. So what kind of preparation is going into the next round here for the team?
Well, going to the Swiss stage, we're practicing like we normally do, which isn't a ton because we have really late classes on Tuesdays, Thursdays. But we're gonna go in and just kind of have that underdog mindset. Hope we can play well, but if we don't, I mean, it's expected, so it's not a big deal.
And you have a lot of CRL community and collegiate community like supporting you, which I think is really awesome. I've seen it across, like, cause College Esports News, you cover more than just Rocket League, but like Winthrop qualifying for Valorant Challengers, Maryville in the LCS Challengers, like everyone's kind of rallying together for collegiate right now, which is really awesome.
Yeah.
And of course, your team isn't the only CRL players competing in the next stage. What do you have to say to any of the other CRL players that you may run into in the next stage?
Good luck. I kind of hope they choke against me, but otherwise I hope they do well.
Absolutely. And then last question, any shout outs, anything like that?
I'd like to shout out my parents. Obviously, I want to shout out the Akron program. They've done so much for me. I want to shout out my girlfriend, shout out my boyfriend. Shout out Tristan. I mean, he's the GOAT. He carried us to that qual. I'll shout out Emilio too, because he's giving me big eyes. But I think that's about it.